Hey everyone, welcome back to Financial Futures, your go-to channel for staying informed about the financial landscape and how to secure your financial future. Today, I'm going to tell you about something big that's coming, the Great Melt-Up. We've all heard of the Great Recession, but this melt-up is something entirely different, and it's inevitable. Buckle up, because what I'm about to share could have a profound impact on your financial future. So, this story begins with inflation. Yes, we've all been feeling it, but what if I told you it's going to re-accelerate hard? That's right, we're on the verge of an inflationary event that will rock the economy. I'm calling it the Great Melt-Up. And here's the thing, this isn't just a prediction, it's the inevitable outcome of our current economic trajectory. Let's take a step back and look at the root of the problem: the U.S. national debt crisis. The government's debt situation is not just bad, it's exponentially getting worse. Let me show you a chart straight from the U.S. Treasury. As of 2024, we've crossed over $35 trillion in national debt. That's a staggering figure, and the problem is growing at a pace we can barely keep up with. The interest payments on this debt are a huge concern. As the debt rises, the government has to make more and more interest payments. That's billions of dollars in interest going to countries like Japan and China, the Federal Reserve, and big financial institutions. Now, why is this important? Because inflation isn't going away. In fact, it's going to get much worse. The U.S. government relies heavily on tax revenue, income taxes, Social Security, Medicare taxes, and corporate taxes. In 2024, the government collected $4.4 trillion in taxes. Sounds like a lot, right? But they spent $6.3 trillion. That's an overspending of $1.9 trillion just this year, and it's only going to increase. This means the government will borrow more money to cover the difference, which in turn means more interest payments. And that's where inflation comes in. The government can't afford to cut spending or throw the economy into a recession, so they'll choose inflation, hyperinflation over deflation any day of the week. Here's where it gets even more concerning: the U.S. is on track to spend over $1 trillion a year just on interest payments. That's 20% of the total tax revenue. What happens when that number climbs to 30%, 50%, or even higher? It becomes unsustainable, and that's the house of cards we're living in. And while some people think the Federal Reserve can just print more money to fix the problem, well, they can, but that will only skyrocket inflation even more. If you look at the projections for the next few years, it's clear the government is going to continue overspending. They're not cutting the budget, they're not balancing the books, and it doesn't matter who's in office, whether it's Trump, Biden, or anyone else. Both parties will continue to overspend. The national debt will keep climbing, and so will the interest payments. Now imagine if the government tried to balance the budget, what would happen? They'd have to lay off workers and cut programs, but guess what? The U.S. economy can't afford that either. A deep recession would lower tax revenues, leading to, you guessed it, even more borrowing. The bottom line is that the government is in a position where there are no good options. And the only path they have left is inflation. It's the least bad option. Why? Because it allows them to keep up with their massive interest payments, and it benefits the elite who have access to cash and assets before the rest of us. Now, this isn't all doom and gloom. There's a way to protect yourself from this melt-up. The key is to invest in financial assets. I'm not saying this to help you get rich quick, this is about keeping up with inflation. Assets like stocks, real estate, and even commodities can help safeguard your wealth in an inflationary environment. If you're someone who's debating whether to buy or rent, think about this. If you own a home and inflation takes off, paying off that mortgage becomes easier as the value of money decreases. On the other hand, if you're renting, landlords will be able to raise rents at the pace of inflation, leaving you with fewer options. The great melt-up is coming, and it's coming fast. Inflation will be the name of the game by 2026, if not sooner. More and more people are going to realize this, and you need to be ahead of the curve. Don't wait until it's too late, start preparing now. That's it for today, folks. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Financial Futures for more in-depth updates on the economy and financial strategies to protect your future. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared,